right, what else we have next in any news?
I mean, as long as he gets ample punishment, then I'm not against him not getting recasted.
Oh yes. Also, I'm trying to find a story on Ryan Coogler now. You guys can fill in while I do it, please.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what happened to Coogler? Like, he got in trouble or something? Coogler seems like a pretty cool guy. I don't think y'all heard causing too much trouble.
He got in trouble at a bank.
Oh, they wouldn't give him his money?
Oh yeah, the freaking he tried to take out some money and got the police called on him for being black, basically.
Wow.
Being a nigga with too much money.
Well, he didn't get in trouble. That means they profiled.
Yeah,
all right,
he didn't do anything.
That's why he should have.
I got the story right here. And it goes, Bank of America has apologized to the director Ryan Coogler after he was assumed to be a bank robber and briefly handcuffed by the police while trying to withdraw money from a branch in Atlanta in January.
Oh, Bank of America owed me $1 million.
Mr. Coogler, best known for directing Black Panther, had handed a teller a withdrawal slip on January 7th, asking for more than $10,000, with a note on the back asking her to, quote, be discreet when handing him the cash, end quote, according to a police report. Mr. Coogler also had his California state ID card as well as his Bank of America card when he approached the teller. Both Mr. Coogler and the teller were black. The teller received an alert notification from Mr. Coogler's account and quickly advised her manager that he was trying to rob the bank branch in the Buckhead section of Atlanta, the report states. The police were called, and when they arrived, they found an SUV parked in front of the bank. The driver identified Mr. Coogler as a movie producer and said he was waiting for Mr. Coogler while he was making a transaction inside the bank. A woman who was a passenger in the SUV gave the same information. The officers were given a description of Mr. Coogler that matched the description of the man who was reported to have been trying to rob the bank, the police said. The officers said they detained the driver and the passenger and placed them in a patrol car. They then removed Mr. Coogler from the bank in handcuffs and determined that he was not a bank robber, according to the police report. The police confirmed that the episode resulted from a mistake by Bank of America, and that Mr. Coogler was never in the wrong, according to the report, which adds that Mr. Coogler was immediately taken out of handcuffs and that the two others were taken out of the patrol car. This is a long freaking article.
That's pretty much the gist of it. And he was pissed.
Yeah. Can we talk about why people even think people are still robbing banks? Like,
bruh, well, hold on.
With his own bank card with no money, with his ID.
I mean, I could kind of forgive that. I see what y'all are saying. I can kind of forgive that. Y'all know I play devil's advocate because it's like, people make fake IDs. Maybe it's all part of the plan. It could be some elaborate thing.
He looks like him.
It's his
like
account.
You have the actual ID and the card. You see the man's face and everything.
And that's when the logic goes out.
You can't be robbing a bank when you're taking your own money out of your own account.
Right. You don't got no mask, nothing put up there. Here's the ID with the card to match the name and everything. And here's the face and all. Like, I have
here's the face.
Like, I'm literally right here.
I have everything that I need to legally take money out of my bank account.
And you called the police on me.
Sorry about that, y'all.
And I mean, he's a high profile. You got to think Atlanta has a lot of celebrities. So it's asking for somebody to be discreet is like, oh, maybe they're a high profile celebrity and they don't want like not for nothing. Niggas been shot for less. So
yeah, like you want people to see you handing you $10,000 or some shit like in Atlanta. Wow.
Well, let me offer this. In what situation would you need more than $10,000 of cash being taken out of the bank?
Right, you don't
fucking matter.
What do you mean?
It
Like,
really doesn't matter. He
Yeah,
could be going to look at a venue for another movie, and they might.
Yeah, I say he's
I could be trying to buy a large amount of drugs. Like,
What? I wouldn't say that.
Man, he could be
I'm just
props.
saying.
It
I'm just
could be
saying,
anything. It
rather
doesn't
than
matter. It's his
just
money. It's
cash
America.
apping
If he's
or
white, that's not a problem. Straight up.
Yeah.
On mothers.
Yeah, it's like that. We all know what this is. It's like people are acting like this is like, I wonder what happened here. Like, we all know what the fuck happened, bro. He's black. He tried to take out too much money. And they were just like, they didn't recognize him as a famous black nigga. They just saw him as a regular nigga.
I'm mad they assumed he was trying to rob the bank, though. Like, who robs a bank with an ID?
See, that's the part that gets me the most. Like, that is really, because me, like, I still play devil's advocate. I can kind of understand what some people are, just to understand what level of stupid they are. And I'm not insinuating that anybody has any justification here. But in the way that you alerted the authorities, at this point, there's no way this man is trying to rob the bank in any other way that could be anything other than like identity fraud. Like, if you really think he is trying to rob the bank, that's how he's trying to do it. Is this really, I'm about to call the police?
They pulled up with Glocks on him and like guns drawn and shit. Like, this man was just like making it. You could see him scared shitless. Like, oh, whoa, fuck. Like, is this for me? Like, y'all good?
Like, come on, man. Who tries to rob
a
a
bit
bank?
much. This is a bit much.
Not to mention, like, bro, like, I still can't get past who's really robbing banks by force these days. Like, I know it still happens, but it's getting rarer than tornadoes. Like, it's just what bank doesn't have, like, you don't even have to have crazy good security at banks these days. I don't know, maybe it's just a black optic that I'm coming from, but every bank I go to, everybody's behind bulletproof glass the entire time.
I'll say this: it's possible. That's all I'll say. It's possible.
I won't disagree with that.
It's possible. That's all I'll say.
But is it plausible?
I gotta step and get ready for work.
Oh, oh yeah, I was pretty much done.
But man, that is still wild. Did we talk about the Nicki Minaj interview?
No, we did not. We did not. We can touch on that. I watched it. I listened to it.
I don't know where this woman is going. I don't agree with some of the points that she makes because I feel like it can.
Yeah, I feel like
taken in a certain way, but I like where she is now. I like the mental place that Nicki Minaj is in right now, and I'm pretty excited for her new music.
I do want to say, here's the thing, and she said it herself in an interview. Like, when you take credit for something, you always sound like Soulja Boy. And it's funny that she said that because it was like a fiesta of her talking about the things that she deserves credit for. And granted, yeah, she may deserve credit for things.
For a lot of things.
But this is what you sound like when you try to get it. You sound like, okay, I deserve it. I need it. Give me my credit. Okay, like, we could have talked about something else during this interview. We could have spent this 3 hours talking about something else. But I do like her headspace and where she is in her career, though.
Yeah, for me, my biggest takeaway was she probably has a very toxic view of what like being a man in the rap industry is, and she was kind of emulating that at first, and because she does have some of the points she made was like, you know, rap is braggadocious. She's no different than Russ in that sense. She's trying to get on the train of like, no, I'm the shit. I don't need to pay props to anybody. Well, that is our art form.
Let's talk more about the buzzwordy thing, because you know, when creatives like ourselves, when we put out stuff, people take the buzzwordy thing from it and make a clip out of it and make it go viral. So the thing that they took from that interview was when she said why she got butt injection was because of Lil Wayne and the camp of YMCMB like cracking jokes on the size of her butt. And the shorties that they bring around is all thick jump. So that's what they decided to, you know, make go viral. So let's talk about that.
Wow.
Yeah. And mind you, really quick, before we even talk about that, for the listeners, like, I know some people might be thinking of like Nicki Minaj today. Remember when she first got into this industry, it was like almost 15 years ago. So what is she like, just maybe approaching her 40s? Like, she almost was maybe just no longer a teenager by the time she was in the studios with these grown ass men.
Somebody find Nicki Minaj's age, please. She gotta be 37. I say 37.
I think she's 39.
39. Okay.
Yeah, 39.
39. Good job. Good job. But what I was gonna say was, it's tragic that she felt that way in order to feel beautiful, or in order to feel accepted.
Yeah, that was the industry though.
Yeah, and then
she wanted it.
Played into it like crazy. Like after she got the butt, she played into the whole like, I'm a woman, nice body, so heavily after that.
My takeaway from that focus in the interview is, and this is why I'm liking Nicki Minaj now, is that she's having a lot of reverence of those things. And you know, I actually had like a big chip on my shoulder about Nicki Minaj because, like, fun little story. My niece really liked Nicki Minaj at the time, and I, you know, being her uncle, I really didn't know how to tell her like, hey, those dances are inappropriate. So I was kind of just not really a fan of Nicki Minaj because I'm just over here like, well, now my niece is out here doing that stuff because she thinks that's cool. And I won't go into that conversation here on the podcast, but I kind of had something against Nicki Minaj outside of her rap. I always thought like the rap was pretty decent. What I like is that she is coming to a place and bringing up that situation of saying, hey, I was impressionable. Maybe I do have a little bit more responsibility to articulate, you know, sexuality in a way that it's positive for women instead of just the way that I did it before.
Right.
Yeah. And again, I've always been a Nicki fan. Like, again, she's from New York. I support on. But I fell off. My for real, when I fell off with Nicki is when she started, you know, doing the whole like she would always argue about why her albums weren't number one. And she would blame other people for why her albums weren't number one. And, you know, she would say petty stuff like, they when I released my album, and that's why I wasn't number one. And I, you know, that annoyed me about her. And then, of course, her, and I guess you shouldn't let this affect you, but like her as a person, I still don't get why for all the options that somebody like Nicki Minaj has in the world, for all the options.
Oh, Lord, Nick, don't do it. Oh,
I'm just saying he can't come to my kids' football.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But speaking on, you know, what she does, it's funny that you said it because in the interview she does talk about that. She talks about why she thinks her albums doesn't go number one, or why she doesn't get the cover of Vogue, or why, you know, and she be like, you know, it's because pro-black, it's because of black, it's because I'm a woman, it's because I'm not her, it's because of this, that.
Cardi B has gone number one.
But she gives all these reasons, and I'm like,
you're just not.
I don't know.
You're just not the best person at the time. She just isn't. Like, that's the truth. And again, I'm a fan. I've purchased her albums before. She's just usually not the best person at the time. And then more people fell off of her because she is supported rapists. Like she's supported her brother when her brother was on trial for raping his wife's daughter, and she supports her husband, who is also, you know, is also committed sexual assault. It's like, you're gonna lose fans and people aren't gonna listen to your music because you have unfortunately put yourself in a situation where you are in multiple places dealing with men who are menaces. They're not gonna support you. Just accept that.
Yeah, and it's the weird thing about Nicki is that, like, a lot of what I don't like was never even those things, because, and not to sound like, you know, people are going to say, oh, Bubba supports rape culture. I understand standing by your man. It's something that can go too far, you know, when you're defending people who have committed these things, of course. But it's something that, in my opinion, isn't the worst thing in the world, because, you know, you're just standing behind your tribe and doing what you can for people that you know. It's a double-edged sword. But for me, what I didn't like about Nicki Minaj in these situations, to Nick's point, is the ambivalence of it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and, a perfect example of how you support someone even though they might have done something is like what Felicia Rashad did for Bill Cosby. She never said that I don't think he didn't do any of this stuff, but she did bring light to the fact that, okay, regardless of what he's going on, don't tear down the work that he's done for our community. Don't invalidate that.
Correct.
And in my opinion, that's how you support somebody even when they're going through hard times. Nikki didn't do that. Nikki was just like, oh, I'm not seeing anything, and they didn't do that, even though there's evidence, y'all wild and y'all bonkers. Like, that's not how you do that.
Yeah, or just don't say nothing at all. Like, look, hey, just hold the L, but don't sit here and then say your music should have been because of who you choose. Who is in your camp affects your brand. Your brand is the people who buy your music. You lost fans by the choices that you made, and now you have to accept that your music is not going to sell as much, even if it is good, because there are some people who are going to say you have associated with people that I cannot allow into my domain.
Well put.
Yeah.
But it was a great interview. Shouts to Joe. He stayed even keeled. It was funny because he stayed monotone for the whole thing. And that's kind of against type. But
that's very difficult for Joe, as we all know.
I understand it. But great interview. What's next? What else we got on the timeline? All right. You want to do it? You want to do it, Nick?
Do what?
Megan Tory.
Oh yeah. Hey, Megan Tory. That trial about to happen in next month. I mean, to be honest, I'm ready for this to be over with, but I don't think nothing's going to come out of it. Again, innocent or proven guilty. I don't know if Tory did it. I'm not going to say that Meg didn't get shot in the foot either. What I'm saying is I don't think anything's going to come of it. Like, I don't think they really have enough evidence to prosecute Tory. And I also don't think there's, and I guess you can't really dispute Meg's claim, but it just sounds like there was some drunken shenanigans that went super wrong, and Tory was out here slinging wood to two people, and shit got crazy.
I just need to know the caliber of the gun that Megan was shot with. If it's anything higher than a 22, and I'm not, once again, I know I'm going to sound like Bubba Samuels, but I'm not saying she didn't get shot. I'm just saying it's really unlikely that you can get shot twice and not have irreparable foot damage. Joe even said it on his podcast really well, and he didn't even want to make any insinuations.
But yeah, it's very touchy. It's very touchy.
Like I saw the pictures of her foot. I saw the pictures of her foot, and I was just like, "Ain't no way you got shot."
Because like I'm very into guns. I know also the dynamics of a foot, and to Joe Budden's point, there's 200 something odd bones in a foot. If one of them breaks, your foot might be moving weird for the rest of your life. To be shot twice, so you know what I mean? Like, I need to know what caliber of gun that was, because the only thing that could allow her to be shot twice in the foot and then still perform anything less than years later at the caliber that she did only months later, it's got to be, it's got to be a 22. And even at a 22, that's still a bullet coming out of a gun at like high speeds. Like, that's some truly
right. You got shot in the foot. You got shot in the foot and performed and performed in the same year.
Yeah.
Like, hold up. Wait a minute. Foot surgery alone takes months to heal. You didn't even have a cast.
Yeah, she's back. She's back on IG twerking.
She was back performing in heels. Ain't no way. Ain't no steroid strong enough.
So it's one of those things where it's like
the steroids that they put in horses, because she's a stallion.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yo, he really did that.
What? It's Stallion is a okay, whatever. All right. Anything else, fellas?
Nah.
No.
I have two more, but I can save them.
Up to you, big dog.
Yeah, let's save those. We'll save those for next episode.
Right.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on a new episode of Smokin FIYA. The gang is back. I've been here with C Jizzle live from Liberty Sizzle, aka Puffco Poppy. I've been here with Fussy Snipes, Sniper Elite. I've been here with the certified tech nigga, Bugsy, Bubba Samuels. I've been here with Mac Ryan, the timestamp king, B Mac, Mac Measy, and have I missed anybody?
CJ.
You've been here with me too. Okay, they got a deity. Subscribe everywhere. People listen to stuff and watch stuff. But leave a comment, leave a like, share with your friends, tell everybody about FIYASquad gang.
Okay.